Gaurav Sawant is on the Palestinian side. He's at the West Bank area where tensions have just about risen. And this is right at a time, Gaurav, we know that the Israeli Defense Forces are all lined up and ready to roll for a ground invasion. Would you be able to tell us and clarify what's stopping Israel from moving forward with this ground invasion on day 14?
I've interacted with a number of IDF officers on camera on India today. Whether it was Colonel Scheffler in southern Israel or Colonel Hecht, and these are spokespersons who are interacting with international media, and they insist that there is no delay in Israel's operation. Israel is moving as per plan. Before ground forces are sent in, it takes aerial bombardment of the target area to soften the target. First from the air, second from artillery, and that's exactly what's happening. That's phase one of the war. You soften the target to ensure that there are no pockets or as little pockets of resistance that remain when ground forces roll in. The moment phase one is over, and they say that they're pretty close. Even today, they've eliminated some of the top commanders of the Hamas in the Gaza Strip. They say Yahya Sinwar, for example, Yahya Sinwar of Hamas is a dead man walking. Israel has said so in as many words. They've made a list of all the Hamas leaders and fighters they want to eliminate, and they're moving as per priority. So the drones are scanning the skies constantly. The moment the drones paint a target, the F-16s and the F-15s use their PGMs or precision-guided munition to destroy that location, and several Hamas fighters have been killed. The moment those targets are softened, pockets of resistance are softened so that there are no shoulder-fired surface-to-air missiles for attack helicopters or anti-tank missiles or IEDs or, little tunnels from where Hamas fighters could come and target Israeli ground forces. When that is softened, the ground forces could move in. Israel's defense minister seemed to indicate it could happen soon when he said that so far you've seen Gaza from a distance. You will be seeing Gaza up close very soon. The second part, the finance minister of this country has also made a very critical statement. He said that Hamas will not exist either as a ruling entity in Gaza or even as an entity in Gaza, and there would be a no man's land between Gaza and the Israeli border. Anyone seen in that no man's land, there'll be a fence that will be erected. Anyone who crosses that fence will be targeted. So very systematically, there is a major change that Israel is planning all along the Gaza Strip. The situation here where I am right now at the West Bank, equally volatile or threatens to get more volatile, Nabila.
Well, at this point, Israel is certainly facing a two-front war, as Hezbollah has also joined in this war with Hamas to strike against Israel. But that said, where the area that you're at, West Bank, we know that is fully locked and guarded by the Israeli forces. We believe every checkpoint and crossing along that area is fully tightened and locked. Is that right? People wanting to come from Gaza towards West Bank, do you think there's a chance for those wanting to flee this war? Palestinians, I mean?
Well, they cannot get into southern Israel at all, not from this side. Their only hope is that Egypt would give them a safe passage, and Egypt would open the Rafah border, which Egypt hasn't done so far. Egypt's only permitting certain trucks to come in with humanitarian assistance, food, water, and medicines. And that is why people are stuck in a very narrow pocket south of Khan Yunis, technically south of the Wadi Gaza river, which is not being targeted just as yet, because Israel wants to clear out all the area north of Wadi Gaza river of Hamas terror. So that is how Israel is moving forward very systematically. Nobody from there can come to West Bank, but Israel's suspicion is that Hamas fighters are coming into the West Bank through through other means, and that is why 500 plus have been taken into custody since the 7th of October. 70 have been taken into custody just in the last 24 hours, and there were major offensives that were carried out in a way when a large number of Israeli forces moved in with their weapons drawn, picking up people, taking them to safety. But right now, where we are headed to the place where those clashes are expected, or there's apprehension of clashes after the namaz, after the Friday prayers between the Palestinian youth and the Israeli forces, Nabila.
While that said, as we know that West Bank area is really a danger zone for Israelis because the long-standing hatred between Palestinians and Israelis along the West Bank area is well known, as Palestinians believe that that is their land or the entire Israel itself is their land. But that apart, Israel in West Bank has established nearly 4,000 settlements, and that has resulted in clashes often between Palestinians and Israelis. We believe, Gaurav, that the Israeli Defense Forces have vested the responsibility of security among the civilians along the West Bank area, Israeli civilians. Is that right? They've been given combat gear and some ammunition, we understand, to protect themselves and their families, the Israeli families. Gaurav, if you're still with us. It's a patchy connection. Those who are watching India today, we are on a constant coverage on the Israel-Hamas war. And Gaurav Sawant, our correspondent, India Today correspondent, and only Indian reporter itself to be on the Palestinian side. He's currently in the West Bank area, an area where we're seeing tensions escalate in the last few days.